Hey, fabulous people. Okay, so have you ever wondered what it looks like to see a desperate person, like a desperate man, someone who oozes out desperation? Look no further than the imposter in the White House. Because see, all these things that you're seeing him do right now are part of a pattern. This is deliberate stuff that looks like erraticism, but it's actually deliberate and he's doing it intentionally. And I think part of what the mainstream media misses sometimes with these narratives by trying to pretend like they're being fair and balanced, what they're missing is that there's a reason why this is happening. And that's what people should be focusing on. The truth is, what came out in the past week was that Michael Flynn is allegedly cooperating or wanting to cooperate with Robert Mueller. And what everybody knows is that if Michael Flynn cooperates, that's game, set, match on Trump's presidency. And that's something Trump knows because Trump knows what Michael Flynn knows. And Trump knows what Michael Flynn knows because Trump knows what he did. And he can try to create this illusion that he didn't do anything wrong and that he's totally innocent. This whole thing is fake news. And it's just bitter Democrats that are going after him because they're sad about an election. But the problem is that the evidence is so overwhelming at this point. So basically what Trump is doing is he's going completely scorched earth. Right? He doesn't care about his presidency anymore. He knows his presidency is over. He's done with his presidency. He's trying to survive. And the only way that he can survive, and I'll talk about the things that he's done that have been so erratic in a minute, but the only way that he can survive is by maintaining that base that he has. Because without that base, he is literally done. When you're somebody who has allegedly a 33% approval rating, which I don't even believe that 33%, but somebody who allegedly has a 33% approval rating, you don't really have much lower you can go before you're done. So the thing is, you have somebody who was just unpopular president, unpopular globally as a president, okay, who is under investigation for colluding with the Russian government, a foreign adversarial government, to undermine the United States election. That's what he's being accused of right now. Not just that, obstruction of justice. Okay, then a conspiracy, etc. This is what he's being accused of right now. His presidency is complete and utter shambles because he's an utter failure. He hasn't been able to accomplish anything. So right now he needs to keep his base. So what does he do? He decides to first tweet out all these tweets by this British right-wing conspiracy, racist, Islamophobic group called Britain First. Tweets out all these tweets of videos of them talking about alleged crimes committed by Muslim people. He tweets that out. He gets condemnation from the British Prime Minister. He gets condemnation from the British Parliament. Okay, then he gets condemnation from embassies around the world. Everybody's condemning him for this. This is the first time. Can anyone remember when the British Prime Minister condemned the United States president? That happened. Okay, and then he tweets out a response to the British Prime Minister. All of this is allegedly supposed to feed his base. We'll see how far it goes with this anyway, nevertheless. Then he also tweets out a conspiracy against Joe-Scarborough, alleging that Joe-Scarborough is responsible for the murder, allegedly murdering his intern, even though his intern allegedly died of an accidental death. And this was what the coroner had already said about it. So he tweets that out, and under any other circumstances, if he wasn't the president of the United States, he would be he would have been sued for libel. And Joe Scarborough would have won. But because he has this immunity, which I'm just starting to question whether that immunity should extend as far as it has, when these things are not in his official capacity, there's nothing about these tweets that relate to his official capacity. And he's also doing them from his own personal Twitter account. But nevertheless, he's tweeting out a conspiracy about Joe Scarborough because that feeds part of his base. The InfoWars, the Michael Cernovich, the cuckoos and the crazies and the Roger Stones and the quacks of his base. So that helps that part of his base. And then he's also talking about the deep state, which is his own CIA and DOJ and FBI, etc. This is who he's talking about, and he's calling them the deep state. These are people that are his subordinates. But he's attacking them because that feeds also his base. Right? And then he's going after fake news and NBC and saying that people in NBC executives should be fired. And then he went after Matt Lauer. What Matt Lauer has done is despicable. But nevertheless, don't throw stones when you live in glass houses. And Donald Trump is the last person that should be talking about sexual assault ever in life when you're on a video admitting to sexual assault and saying you can get away with it when you're a star. And you're legitimately apologizing for it later. And then somehow, psychotically, you decided now that you're trying to say the video might not be real, which is just one of the most deranged things that could ever happen in life. But nevertheless, we're dealing with a deranged imposter. So he goes and tweets that out as well because that also feeds his base. Because this is a desperate man in a desperate situation that knows that his presidency is going down in burning flames. And constantly he's deflecting from those things. But not just that. He needs to rally his base because his base is his greatest mitigation factor. Right? They're the only people that can mitigate the amount of damage that he will actually suffer as a result of the consequences from a Mueller investigation. So what he's doing right now is trying to rally up his base and keep them behind him because he's not able to deliver on any of the promises that he made to his base. He's failed on the wall. He's failed to get Mexico to pay for it. He's failed to repeal and replace Obamacare. He's failed to even the basic things that he told them that he was going to do, he's failed to be able to do them. Just minor things that he said that he was going to do. I'm going to bring the jobs back and things like that. He hasn't been able to do them. So the thing is, this guy has failed on every level, but what he's trying to remind his base is, I am one of you. And they like it when he acts this way. And that's what's keeping him alive, because the Republican Party is so weak and their spinal cord is like jello that they are so afraid of doing certain things until after the 2018 election. But Donald Trump's base is, if he keeps them rallied up and keeps them excited by continuing to pretend like he's one of them, then they scare the Republican Party. That even though they're a fringe minor, like 10%, they scare the Republican Party because they are unhinged. They are erratic. They're impulsive. They're nuts. And so Donald Trump is just trying to feed them right now. He doesn't care about his presidency. He knows it's over. So what he's doing right now is really just deflection from everything that's going on, in that trying to keep his base solidified and also trying to make sure that people aren't focusing on the real scandal. The real scandal is that your own former national security advisor is flipping on you. Your own former national security advisor has the goods. And your own former national security advisor is going to spill the beans. So effectively, your presidency is over, and you know your presidency is over. So you do these things, and then people get drawn into those things because they think that, it's exciting, and the mainstream media picks it up. What they don't realize is, why is he doing it? And that's what you should be focusing on, is why is he doing it? And another thing, don't think that this guy's going to go down quietly if he's impeached or they invoke the 25th Amendment. He's already preparing his base for a fight. So just watch out for that, because that's coming too. The reality is, majority of the country doesn't want this guy to be president anymore. They understand that he's unfit for office. And he proves that consistently, because he can't put the interests of American people above his own ridiculousness. So at the end of the day, like I've always said, and I'm going to maintain, is that this guy is not going to be the president for 4 years. He will be impeached. They will invoke the 25th Amendment, or he will resign. And that I can guarantee you.